So at the Days of Summer, we ended up with 4 weapons locked behind reserves. You've seen the backlash, you've seen the videos of other COD YouTubers just laying into Treyarch and Activision for this decision, so I'm not going to do that here. I ended up getting the S6 Stingray after saving up just 65 reserves, and I was curious as to whether or not this weapon in particular was good enough for people to be outraged about. For reference, your chance of getting this weapon is well under 1%. I think it's even under like 0.5%. It's ridiculously low. So let's take a look at the S6 Stingray and determine whether or not this is actually a good weapon. I'll do a very quick rundown of its stats and attributes and then talk about how it handles, and finally get into its operator mod, which is by far the most important part. It's a 2-round burst that does 62 damage per shot at its highest damage range, but 38 at its lowest damage range. Each burst can do between 76 and 124 damage. So it's a 3 to 4 shot kill. It has a starting magazine of 26 rounds for a total of 78 rounds starting. With fairly low recoil, it also has a very high rate of fire, so you can spam this if you so choose. As for attachments, you have a pretty standard list here: long barrel, suppressor, laser sight, and things like that. There's no high caliber, FMJ, or second level attachments to note. It is a tactical rifle, so it has a built-in sight, but I actually like it. I think it's my favorite out of the standard tactical rifle sights. You can swap it out for a couple others that include the reflex or even a thermal scope though. Now, its stats and attachments are one thing, and just from what I've mentioned so far, this sounds like a decent weapon. Without even talking about the Impact Blast operator mod, this is a projectile-based weapon. I honestly didn't even realize this when I was trying it out offline against bots because it seemed to be 100% accurate. When I took it online in a few matches, I thought I was lagging like crazy and just not getting any hit markers. Then I went back and read the description. Fires high damage, serrated projectiles. Okay, now it makes sense. This is firing actual projectiles, which just means I have to aim slightly ahead of my targets, right? Except no. I'm not sure why, but these projectiles are extremely unpredictable at all ranges. Long range gets even worse, but up close, it's also hard to predict. The chances of your shots landing seem to be dependent on how good of a connection you have. Playing in a custom match against bots, I never noticed this delay, but even with a 30 millisecond ping, I have to be careful about just taking pot shots. Someone can be strafing even slightly and I miss all of my shots. It also has 0 penetration ability unless someone is literally touching a paper thin wall that these projectiles end up sticking through. I went into a custom game to test the speed of these projectiles, and it took 5 frames for my shot to hit something about 45 meters away, which is about 540 meters per second. This was of course done at 60 frames per second, so there's some margin of error to play with there. For reference, that's around 83 milliseconds to hit something 45 meters away. This speed was consistent for all of my testing. I tried no attachments, suppressor, long barrel, and then the operator mod with a combo of those 3 as well. It was 100% consistent, at least in a custom match with no lag or laggy players. This essentially makes this one of the worst weapons in the game. Absolute garbage tier and one of the last weapons I would choose if I were trying to win. I'm essentially adding lag to my gun right off the bat. That is until you turn this into what I think is literally the best weapon in the game by unlocking the Impact Blast operator mod. This turns the projectile rounds into explosive rounds. Its damage at the closest range is up to 86 per shot. And when combined with long barrel, it means you're getting 1 burst kills at pretty long ranges. This is actually ludicrous when you take into consideration that it also completely bypasses armor. If you have the base 150 health with armor on, this will take you out in 2 shots like you didn't have armor on to begin with. The only chance you have to survive these 2 shots is if you got TAC 5 from Crash, or if you decided to throw on Flak Jacket. That's right, Flak Jacket will reduce this damage from 86 per shot to 68 per shot, and leave you with just 14 health if a full burst hits you, even at point blank range, unless even one of those shots hits you in the head, which will then do 94 damage. I also noticed, and I'm not sure why exactly, my shots were far easier to hit when using the operator mod. I'm not sure if they have a wider kind of impact on them, but it does seem easier. It could just be in my head, but it could also be because I'm no longer getting an enemy to just a hair of health before they take me out. That isn't all, however. Safeguard is absolutely broken with this mod because it will kill the robot in 2 bursts. That's it. 4 shots will take it out, and that is absolutely insane. After realizing this, I just kind of stopped for a second because I was just in awe of what happened. I knew it would be good against it, but not that good. So I took it against a few Scorestreaks to see if it carried over to them as well. It wasn't as destructive as I had initially thought. It can't take out a strike team helicopter in a full mag. I didn't test it with hybrid mags though, so maybe that's a possibility. But it did kill the strike team members in like 6 bursts, which again, you can fire extremely fast. The Mantis was more durable than I expected, and an attack helicopter didn't survive too many shots either. So the bottom line on the S6 Stingray is that it somehow manages to coexist as both the worst weapon in the game and the best. And by the best, I mean it's absolutely broken. This cannot remain this strong when you're using the operator mod. Part of me hates to say that since I spent an entire day grinding it to get it unlocked, but this is outrageous. This is literally a pay-to-win weapon. You might not be guaranteed to get it, and I'm not sure if making it a direct purchase would make it better or worse, but it's not right either way. There needs to be ways to earn these weapons in-game, the moment that anyone else can manage to buy it. In fact, these weapons shouldn't be able to be obtained in reserves or directly purchased whatsoever. I'm not going to suggest any best classes to use for this weapon. I mostly just wanted to put it out there about how insanely strong this thing can be if you put in the work to level it up all the way. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to keep playing with this weapon, but honestly, I'm a lot more interested in Blackout anyways at this point. This weapon without its operator mod would actually fit in quite well, I think, but it's up in the air if that ever happens outside of a special event of some kind. So that's going to be the end of this video. I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video so you don't miss out on future content, and I'll see you next time.